Hello, children, and welcome to One Mark Solution. Today, we are going to discuss the first chapter of your honeycomb textbook, The Three Questions, a chapter written by Leo Tolstoy. It is a story retold from a story originally written by Leo Tolstoy. Three Questions is a chapter dealing with a king's desire to achieve success. He has three questions, and he believes that the answers to these three questions will bring him great success, and that he would never fail as a ruler if he knew the answers to the three questions. The three questions that he has are: what is the best time to do something? Who are the best people he should listen to? And what is the best thing for him to do? In his search for these answers, he sends messengers all across his kingdom to get answers. However, none of the answers from the wise men satisfy him, so the promised reward is not given to anyone. The king then hears of a wise hermit who lives alone in a forest. The king decides to go and meet this hermit. When he goes to meet the hermit is digging a bed of flowers. The king stays back to help the hermit, and in the process ends up knowing the answers to the three questions. This is a brief summary of the chapter, and today we are going to discuss some important multiple choice questions related to this chapter. These questions will be discussed by me. I am Mrs. Jabin, a teacher of the Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan, working presently at Kendra Vidyalaya, Bullar. You can watch the explanation by clicking on the link, and you can subscribe to the channel to get further updates about lessons posted here. Let us move on to doing the question answers. The first MCQ is on your screen. The question is: who wanted to know the answer to the three questions? The options are: a king, an astronomer, a teacher, a scientist. Now, like I told you in the summary before, it was a king who wanted to know the answers to the three questions. So, the correct option is option A. Moving on to the next question. The answers to the three questions would enable: A. The king to lead a peaceful life, the hermit to go to the king, the subjects to lead a good life successfully, or the king to be successful always. Again, like I told you in the brief description of the chapter, the king wanted to know the answers of the three questions because he felt that he would be successful as a ruler if he knew the answers. So, option D is the correct answer. The king to be successful always. Moving on to the third question. The king was not satisfied with the answers as: A. They served no purpose, they were lengthy, they were dull, and D. They were all different. Now, if you look at the chapter, you'll realize that the king got many answers from the wise men, but none of the answers matched each other. They were all very different. So the king was not happy with any of the answers from the wise men. So option D is the correct answer. They were all different. There. Moving on to question number 4. The king promised a large sum of money to the one who would answer his one question, three question, four question, and two questions. Now, this is a very simple question. The chapter name itself tells you the answer. The king promised a large sum of money to the one who would answer his three questions. Moving on, question number 5. What were the three questions of the king? Option A, all of these. Option B, what is the most important thing for him to do? Option C, Which people should he listen to? Option D, which is the most important time to do something? Like I told you at the beginning, all these three were the questions of the king, and he believed that if he knew the answers to all these three questions, he would never fail as a king, or rather, he would be a successful king. So, option A is the right answer. Question number 6. Messengers were sent throughout the kingdom by the king for what? To look for the wise hermit, to find answers to the question, fetch wise men, announce a reward for those who could answer the question. Now, like we discussed earlier already, it was to announce a reward for those who could answer the questions of the king. So, option D is the right option. Question 7. Some wise men said that the king should have a council of A. Brave soldiers, B. Ministers, C. Wise men, D. Strong persons. Now, this question was an answer to the question, who were the people the king should listen to? Who were the most important people for the king? So, some wise men suggested that he should have a council of wise men. So, option C is the right answer. Moving on, question number 8. The king decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit, his ministers, an astrologer, his counselors. Now, like I told you earlier, the king sent his soldiers to ask the wise men for the answers. None of the answers satisfied him. So finally, he heard of a certain hermit who lived in the forest, and he decided to seek the advice of this hermit. So, option A, a certain hermit, is the right answer. Question number 9. The hermit was widely known for his strength, rudeness, ill temper, wisdom. Now, since the king was going to the hermit, it was to find answers to the three questions. So, looking at these options, option D is the most appropriate. The hermit was widely known for his wisdom. Moving to question number 10. The hermit used to see no one but A. Simple people, B. The rich, C. The king, and D. The ministers. Now, this particular hermit had a unique habit. He did not interact much with rich people or kings or people like that. He only interacted with simple people, and that is why the king had to go visit him as a simple man. So, option A is the right answer. The hermit used to see no one but simple people. Question number 11. Why did the king want to know answers of the three questions? Now, this particular answer is already discussed in a previous slide in a different form. So, the correct answer here is avoid failure. He wanted to be a successful king. The opposite of success is failure. So, he wanted to avoid failure. That is the right option here. Moving on to question number 12. What did the king do to meet the hermit? A. He left his horse with his bodyguard. B. He put on ordinary clothes. C. He went on alone. D. All of the above. Like I told you earlier, the hermit had a peculiar habit. He did not like to interact or meet with rich, wealthy people. He only met and helped and interacted with simple people. So, the king had to do all these in order to go and take the advice of the hermit. He had to leave his horse with his bodyguard, he had to put on ordinary clothes, and he had to go all alone. So, all of the above is the right answer. Moving on to the next question. Who was the bearded man? He was a saint, a farmer, a magician, or the enemy of the king. Now, this bearded man comes into picture when the king is helping the hermit. The king and the hermit see a bearded man running towards them. The man is wounded and is bleeding. All right? And this bearded man is none other than an enemy of the king. So the answer, the enemy of the king, is the right option to select here. Now, we're going to stop with the part 1 of the MCQs here. You can subscribe to the channel, like and follow it for getting more such MCQs. You will get more success in your exams. Here, I would also like to thank CET Chandigarh for the material they have provided for this particular presentation to work out. See you in the next session, children. Thank you.